Dive into the captivating account of a thrilling diving expedition gone wrong in the alluring waters of Florida's Blue Spring State Park. This story involves friendship, passion, unexpected challenges, and a tragic finale, unraveling the profound implications of diver preparedness and adherence to safety rules. You can discover Blue Spring State Park, located to the west of Orange City, Florida, in the United States. This wonderful park is a favorite among tourists and offers a variety of enjoyable activities. Visitors have the opportunity to partake in canoeing, scuba diving, kayaking, fishing, camping, hiking, observing wildlife, and swimming. One of the remarkable features of the park is its prominent spring, known as Volusia Blue Spring. This spring holds the distinction of being the largest on the St. Johns River. Notably, the spring maintains a comfortable temperature of 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why numerous Florida manatees are drawn to it during the winter months. Approximately 102 million U.S. gallons of water pour out of Blue Spring into the St. Johns River daily. The spring boasts an impressive depth of 120 feet, although only those who have received official cave diving certification are permitted to venture to such depths. Divers who possess open water certification have the opportunity to explore depths of up to 60 feet, where they'll come across a substantial cautionary sign securely fastened at the cave's entrance, advising them to take the warning seriously and retrace their path. Samuel Slack, a 36-year-old man with a passion for diving, lived in Edgewater. His close friend, Daniel Van Sickle, age 37, comes from the town of New Smyrna Beach. Interestingly, Daniel and Samuel shared a unique connection through Crystal, Samuel's wife, as they both worked together at the Garlic restaurant in New Smyrna Beach. Their friendship had grown over the past year and a half. Samuel held a novice open water diver card, which means he held an introductory level of diving certification, allowing him to explore depths of up to 60 feet underwater. In contrast, Daniel had successfully earned certification as a cavern diver, showing his advanced level of diving proficiency. Despite their differing levels of diving experience, Samuel and Daniel decided to embark on a diving expedition within the waters of Blue Spring. They wanted to explore its underwater wonders and create lasting memories. During this particular dive on October 9, 2013, Samuel and Daniel decided to stick together and dive as buddies. This choice aligned with the guidelines set by the authorities of the Florida State Park System to enhance the overall safety of divers. The two divers formally agreed to their plan by signing an agreement indicating their intention to descend to a maximum depth of 60 feet. This predetermined depth is crucial due to the unique characteristics of the cave environment. Beyond the 60-foot mark, the underwater cave structure becomes steeper and shrouded in darkness, posing additional challenges. Divers who have specialized cave or cavern certifications are allowed to use underwater lights to dive beyond this depth. However, Samuel, lacking the required certification, was mandated to stick to the designated 60-foot limit during their buddy diving expedition. Fully equipped and prepared for their underwater adventure, Samuel and Daniel took on their diving gear in preparation for the dive. Daniel, being a certified cavern diver, showed an extra level of vigilance and preparedness by including an additional breathing apparatus known as a regulator among his equipment. This added safety measure was intended to provide his buddy with an alternative breathing source in the event of an emergency arising during their dive. Both divers also had wrist-worn dive computers, a handy tool that not only tracked and documented their diving progress, but also displayed essential information, such as their current depth underwater. As they commenced their dive, the initial stages went smoothly, with everything proceeding as planned. Remember that Samuel and Daniel had formally agreed to a specific dive depth of 60 feet. However, an unexpected turn of events occurred once they reached the designated depth. Rather than sticking to the agreed-upon limit, the two men decided to venture further, diving to a great depth of 116 feet. During their approximately 2-minute stay at this depth, they explored their surroundings. Having completed their underwater exploration at the depths of the spring, Samuel and Daniel started their ascent toward the water's surface. Soon the men found themselves at a depth of approximately 80 feet when their difficulties began to unfold. Samuel started experiencing breathing issues and urgently signaled his distress to Daniel by making a throat slash sign, indicating his difficulty breathing properly. Seeing the situation at hand, Daniel quickly passed his regulator to Samuel. This immediate action provided Samuel with a temporary solution to his breathing problem, relieving his distress momentarily. It's important to recall that Daniel carried an extra regulator in his diving equipment. This was intended to be used by his buddy in case of an emergency, precisely like the situation they were now facing. However, an unexpected difficulty arose due to the placement of this extra regulator. It was secured beneath the chest straps of Daniel's buoyancy vest, making it inaccessible when it was needed most. Soon, Daniel signaled for the return of the regulator after approximately 30 seconds. Surprisingly, Samuel held on to the regulator, not wanting to give it back. Daniel quickly moved away from Samuel and took control of the regulator before swimming up to the surface. As soon as he emerged, Daniel shouted for someone in charge of maintenance to dial 911. This occurred just a little while before 3 p.m. Following this, Daniel went back underwater, where he discovered Samuel in an unmoving state at a depth of approximately 100 feet. Samuel was lying on his back and showed no signs of movement. Acting swiftly, Daniel inflated Samuel's flotation device and carefully brought him up to the water's surface. After reappearing above water, both Daniel and a park employee attempted to revive Samuel on a platform designated for divers, but their efforts were unfortunately unsuccessful. Soon after, fire rescue and evac paramedics arrived on the scene and continued their life-saving endeavors. Samuel was transported to Florida Hospital Fish Memorial, where his condition deteriorated and he passed away shortly after 3:40 p.m. At the same time, Daniel was transported to Florida Hospital Orlando so he could receive treatment in a specialized chamber designed for decompression sickness. The reason for this action was that when Daniel initially ascended to call for assistance, he rose from a depth of 80 feet without adhering to the necessary decompression stops. Moreover, upon re-entering the water to reach Samuel at a depth of 100 feet, Daniel neglected to follow any decompression stops once again. Decompression sickness, also known as DCS, the bends, or caisson disease, arises when an individual fails to undergo proper decompression after being exposed to increased pressure, such as that experienced during scuba diving. This condition can manifest in varying degrees of severity, ranging from mild instances that do not pose an immediate threat to more severe cases resulting in serious injuries. When engaging in scuba diving using compressed air, the diver inhales both oxygen and nitrogen. While the body utilizes oxygen, the nitrogen becomes dissolved within the bloodstream throughout the dive. When you start to swim upwards back to the surface after diving deep underwater, the pressure of the water around you becomes lower. If this change happens too quickly, the nitrogen in your blood doesn't have time to clear. Instead, it separates from your blood and creates bubbles in your tissues or blood vessels. These bubbles made of nitrogen are what lead to decompression sickness. They give you pains in your joints and bones that can be so intense they make you bend over, which is why the condition is called the bends. The process that occurs inside your body during decompression sickness is quite similar to what happens when you open a fizzy drink. Imagine that when you open a can or bottle, the pressure around the liquid inside becomes lower, causing the gas to escape from the liquid in the form of bubbles. Similarly, if nitrogen bubbles form in your blood, they can harm your blood vessels and block the normal flow of blood. This can lead to problems in your body due to the blocked blood vessels. The analysis of the post-mortem report on Samuel's body did not uncover any noticeable or easily seen injuries. According to the report findings, Samuel's passing was determined to be the result of an accidental drowning. Further checking of his diving tank revealed that it contained around 2,100 pounds of pressure or air, which would have been enough for him to surface easily. However, as indicated in the sheriff's report, it was revealed that the valve on Samuel's tank had been turned to shut off by less than a quarter of a full rotation. This position was not considered standard for normal operation. Typically, divers are expected to fully open the valve, which may require several rotations, and then turn it back half a rotation. Failure to open the valve fully can lead to breathing difficulties and potentially result in a deadly outcome for the diver. The valve must be fully open to ensure proper airflow and safe diving conditions. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another exciting cave diving story.